Hi, I'm James Deacon, and welcome to Do I Detect a Problem? My podcast where I go metal detecting and have a chat with a guest. Welcome. If this is your first time listening, then very much appreciate it. The reaction to the podcast has been unbelievable so far. Just the one episode out, and so many people getting in touch via social media and in the comments on YouTube and Spotify and Apple, etc., to let me know that they're enjoying it, which is amazing. And we were featured in The Guardian this week with one episode out, Jason Williamson episode, which is unbelievable. And so thank you to anyone that has seen that and has come to have a listen. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple or YouTube, subscribe or follow so you don't miss an episode, please. And the reviews and stuff all make a huge difference. So if you could just hit the 5-star button would be great, and leave a review to let me know what you think of the podcast. Please feel free to drop us a follow. Do I Detect a Problem on Instagram, TikTok, etc. But this week I'm joined by a guest. His name's Ethan Ramon of a band called the Sophs. If you haven't heard of them yet, they're up and comers. They have just signed to Rough Trade Records, the legendary record label, after Ethan reached out to the label bosses with their demo, I think. But you'll hear him talking about that a little bit more in the actual episode itself. He put in a lot of graft, so I think what I read online is that he had just emailed the record label out of the blue and got signed, but a lot more has gone into it than that, which was kind of uncovered in the episode. So I think that they're going to do great guns this year. They're about to go on tour in America with the band Shame, and then also doing a huge tour in the UK themselves. Their album Gold Star is out in about a month's time, and so yeah, look out for that. But here's the episode of Do I Detect a Problem with Ethan Ramon. Hope you enjoy. We're looking for something in this field right now, and we're hoping to find something. Where do we find you in your life right now?
What?
Where do we find you right now?
We find me in a period of transience, moving around a lot of speculation, uncertainty, but you can only, it only affects you as much as you let it, and the path is there. It's just a matter of walking it,
That's cool. And do you think you can thrive in that environment?
I don't really have a choice. Don't have much else going on for me.
It's something that you've I guess it's part of the thing that you've been looking for.
Yeah. I mean, this is it for me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I guess if so, you're Ethan Ramon from the band The Sophs.
I am.
If someone hasn't heard your music before, like how would you describe it?
It wears a lot of hats, but it's kind of like dramatic rock, I guess.
Okay.
Alternative. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how it's difficult to look in a mirror and describe what you see in it. It's kind of the same way how it feels about music. You're just too familiar with it.
That's so funny. I've never thought about it like that before. Do you feel like you've described it as looking in a mirror at yourself? Do you feel like your music is like I don't know, a manifestation of yourself when you write a song? Do you put a lot of yourself into it?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's a pretty it's about as me as it can get,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, so should we turn these things on? There's a little on button on the left on the front.
Okay.
And that now it's on, right? And so it beeps like when you walk around, and these numbers come up. And at the top there's a little scale. It can show you like what kind of numbers that you're looking for. But I think from experience from like previous records, we're looking for like a highish number, something like over 20, 20, 30, and then when we stop we can have a look at like what's under there.
Okay.
How long have you been writing music for?
For about like 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, maybe a little more.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What age are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
24.
24. Oh, right. So, like, teenage bedroom type stuff.
Yeah.
What do you tend to write on? Like
Just my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I find a lot of people like to kind of do the notebook or the journal or something like that, but I like the mobility of just like a phone, and I like being able to delete or backspace and not have to cross something out. And
Oh, yeah, that's good. And I
Yeah.
think it's like, I'm not writing in a notebook very often. I'm using my phone all the time, right? So
Yeah.
it makes sense to do it in that way.
Yeah, I don't, at least for me personally, I don't have like a more emotional experience writing in, on paper or anything.
I think you might have found something there. we can have a little look if there's. It seems to be beeping all the time. 23 there.
There's
Should we have a look?
it's 25 right here. It says.
Should we have a look? Keep it there.
Sure.
That's cool. That's cool though. When you say so, you write on your phone, but then are you like what? Are you using an instrument? Are you using like guitar, keyboard, or are you just coming up with melodies? How does it?
No, it's just in
Just
my
there.
head mainly. So a lot of the songs on the record Gold Star I wrote just voice memoing the top line melodies with kind of random melodies that came to mind, and then the next part of them would just kind of make sense in the context of things. Other ones I outsourced to my roommate Sam there, who's an excellent composer and keyboard player.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, so you come up with the melody, and so like, do you sing the melody into your phone and then start to build the track around that?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it kind of comes out of nothing a little bit.
And then how does that? So when you say it comes from nothing, like, does that? Does the melody like just pop into your head and then you start
Yeah.
writing around that?
Yeah.
That's mad. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And like, what can you just be doing anything at the time and it just will?
Yeah, a little bit. That's how, because I wrote all of Death in the Family, our
Death
single.
in the Family. I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, all the vocal melodies and lyrics are all from just the top of my head there. Like for the entire song, and then I took it to Sam after it was written, and he put some chords behind it.
And then like, this is a little thing that you like. So like, there's my wedding ring, and
Oh, nice.
it goes off, so it could help you like find what's in the hole.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And then like, so like, will it start with? Does it start with a theme or does it start with a melody?
Starts with a theme in most cases, or less so. Less so more intentionally like something that I want to write a song about, but more so like an emotion that I'd want to translate into, music. And
Right. Okay.
just kind of goes from there.
And like, talk me through that. So like, when you say an emotion, go on.
Yeah, so if I'm, using Death in the Family, for example.
Yeah, go for it.
I was, what is that?
Don't know. It's so funny once you start looking. It's like,
Yeah.
what is down there?
So Death in the Family, for example, I had spent a good portion of the top of 2024 very kind of paranoid and anxious about nothing really. A lot of kind of the thoughts and feelings that I ended up translating into that song. And I remember being in the shower, and then the I Needed Death in the Family, the lyrics came in my head, and then I thought of the melody, and at the same time I wrote the melody and the lyrics just while in the shower for the first verse, and then I voice memoed that when I got out of the shower. And then I went in the car, and I was driving from LA to Orange County for the Lunar New Year celebration in Little Saigon. And then I wrote the rest of the song with the bridge included, just voice memoing on my phone.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you take it, like we kind of covered that a minute ago, but you take it to the rest of the band and the studio, and you start to build what that is around it.
Yeah, and then, I got back home from OC, and I went to Sam, who I was living with, and I showed him the song, just like all the melodic, like top line and everything, and he put piano chords behind it, and then we got a voice memo of just us, or just me and him, with me singing and him on the piano, and then we took that to the rest of the band, and they made it a full song.
It's just an incredible way to do it. I don't know, I'm not sure how other people are doing it, but it just sounds like such a unique way.
Yeah, it's definitely like not one size fits all. I outsource to people with like a better knowledge of melodic instruments for definitely a lot of songs, but we're pretty open to anything.
That's so cool though.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, from the outside looking in, I'm going to say something that like maybe is not completely correct, but like, as like you're the songwriter, really, right? So like, would that be accurate or?
Yeah, I think it's I write all the lyrics and kind of spearhead the
whole thing,
theme and the session and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's all a democracy, and there have been times where other members of the band have contributed significantly more than I have to everything.
And that's so like, I'm guessing you're not precious about it in any way. You just want to get the songs written.
Yeah. I think we all are. Like, we're not even precious about our own ideas. We
I can't
really
find
just want the song to be done. And
yeah. I read that the Sophs was like a side project.
Mm-hmm.
Talk me through that. So was there other bands going on at the time, or?
Well, I think for everybody, I mean, either other bands or musical ventures. Sam was in college. Austin and I were messing around with other bands. Seth was already in LA working full-time as a producer.
Okay.
Devin was a touring drummer. And Cole was just kind of getting into bass. So all of us were at very different points of our life. And the Sophs was kind of it was a bit of a side project thing.
Okay.
And
whilst you had everything else going on.
Yeah, but when we moved out to LA and just kept creating and creating, and the music kept getting better and better, it seemed, it seemed kind of unfair to all of us to just keep this under wraps.
I think you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, were there other bands on the go? Have you broken up other bands by starting this project, or?
In a way, but if the bands were worth keeping together, they would have.
They would have happened. Yeah. Oh, you don't need to feel bad about it.
Oh no, I don't.
But then when does the side thing become the main thing? When do you know it's worth pursuing?
I think it was a bit of it's a bit abstract, but I think just if you can listen back to your own music and say, this is the best thing I've got going on right now, you kind of have to follow that lead.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And like, it takes a certain amount of it's like it takes a certain amount of, like, not self-assured, but like, you have to be willing to say that something that you are making is good, or is like a really good standard. I think that like there's definitely something really admirable and cool about that, because in my own ventures, I've done something, and in the back of my mind I'm thinking that's quite good, but outwardly facing, you're like, you don't want to say it. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to project it, but
I mean, there's
you got a good one there.
Yeah,
keep talking. Keep it
definitely. There. There's a bit of a I feel as though with bands of our generation, it's, you kind of have to be blasé about the whole thing. Like, we kind of operate in like a post-irony world where you can't like genuinely like really show the world you like yourself or your music that much. It all kind of has to be like vocal fry laden and and kind of meme adjacent,
I'm with you, yeah.
Yeah, and that ties into a lot of bands just images and marketing and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, but why, if you have the resources and you have the talent, why do the song and dance? Why not just own it?
That's so true, because it's like, I know exactly what you mean. Like, people are like very, very quick to like play themselves down and be like, oh, it's all right or whatever. But owning it, I think, is cool, because like it also will help move things along. If you can be like, this is really like a great thing here, I need you to listen to it, which leads me on to your relationship with Rough Trade.
Yeah.
Which like while I'm digging this, from your perspective, tell me like how that came to be. So obviously it's an incredible signing.
Yeah, definitely. It's so we had our buddy of ours who's a creative director.
Okay.
His name's Eric. He does all of our stuff.
Okay.
And I've known him since I was like 17.
Right.
And he's out in LA as well. And at the time, we had already finished all the demos for Gold Star, our debut album. Before even emailing Rough Trade, we had already had the album. And I had sat down with Eric upon completing the album, and I was like, I really need to, I can't let this fall on deaf ears. I need to figure this out. And so we put together a 5-song demo reel, a collection of press photos of the band, a brand Bible that had everything down to like font sizes and like reference photos and stuff. And I wrote basically a cover letter, and I put them all in an email and sent them to 30 independent record labels.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I heard back the next day from Rough Trade, and it was from Jeff. He emailed me and then called me.
Top dog.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was working at the time as a PA for a DJ, and that was one of my jobs.
No way.
That got me a subscription to this like email finder website.
Oh yeah.
Where you just skip past.
They've
the
got one
demos.
here called Media Eye. Yeah.
Mine was called like hunter.io or something.
Yeah.
And it skips right past the demo submission email and goes to the CEO.
Yeah.
So I did that for all of my emails as well.
That's so clever.
Yeah.
And
I heard back from Jeff the next day, and he said that he loved the music but wanted to see a show, and that Jeanette, the co-founder there, would be in Los Angeles with the band Pulp in 10 days. And, we got to put on a show for her.
No way.
Yeah.
And did you have one in the diary?
No, we didn't. We hadn't actually never played a show before.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah.
So it all happened just in the recordings?
Yeah, we were a studio band pretty exclusively.
That's crazy.
And so
you had to pull it all together?
Yeah, our bassist knew a bouncer at this place in Pasadena who let us go on early. And
no way.
Locked ourselves in a rehearsal space for like 10 hours a day.
And you were like, you saw the opportunity and you were like, we've got to put it all in if you're going to do it.
Yeah, and we got like 40 of our best friends to come at like 7:30 or something before the first band came on and put on a show. And
that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so cool, because actually, like, I read about you and about the band, and like, if you read the articles, the way it reads is you sent an email and then they signed you the next day, right?
Yeah.
But really, it's actually so refreshing, or like reassuring to hear. There's a lot of work that goes.
Yeah.
It's not just drop an email and.
No, I mean I don't have a modicum of like imposter syndrome about the whole experience.
Yeah.
I don't think that I don't deserve it at all. I mean, I've been making the music for the Sophs for years.
Yeah.
I was dead set on this exact scenario happening, and I worked very hard for it, as did we all.
And like, you totally deserve it because of that, right?
100%.
Yeah, and like, what was that? I don't know. Dude, there's nothing in this hole either.
That's fucked up.
That's so annoying. Okay, we keep going. Maybe it's this thing's broken. But what were you doing before? Like before the Sophs, did you have other bands or?
Yeah, we were all kind of in other bands. but I was working mostly. I started work at an ice cream shop when I first moved to Los Angeles, and then went to a PA for a bit, and then continued after that to do kind of like online social work. So,
Okay.
which is basically equated to me just putting numbers in Excel spreadsheets.
Dude,
Is that a bone?
I just found a bone.
What the fuck?
That's crazy.
What kind of bone?
Oh my God. And how long has it been there? I'll put it on the camera. Holy moly. That's the spine of something and a pelvis of a little creature.
Okay, thank God. Because, yeah, okay.
It can't be anything else, can it?
Yeah, no,
Look
it's very
at the
small.
Look at the spine. But that has not left that position. That is crazy.
Wow.
I'm like, I wish I'd planted that there, but I have not. But like, something's caught an animal, and it's just, has it sat there long enough to become like that?
I mean, it's so...
So look, you can see a tailbone underneath there. I think. I'm no expert. That is unbelievable.
Holy shit.
I'm going to take a picture of that.
Yeah, I'm going to as well.
That's wild, man. Look at this thing. Any advice on what that is, if you're listening to this, would be very much appreciated. That's crazy. Wow, mad. Okay. As we were.
Damn.
So a bunch of different jobs, but like, I guess the lead into, like, what was the DJ like that you were PA for?
She sucked.
Oh, she sucked.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, she was very like LA old money descendant.
No way.
And
Okay.
yeah, super crass, and really didn't enjoy working for her. But I probably wouldn't have gotten the idea to email out, you know.
Otherwise.
Yeah, otherwise. So I'm thankful for her.
It's I mean, this is the problem with this, right? It's 23 is coming up. Oh no, it's gone now. That's that. 14. No, we're not looking. Keep going. 22. So like, from like, you're doing all these other jobs, but is music always the dream?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm writing with the Sophs pretty consistently.
Right. Okay.
Like we wrote 2 albums by the time we had even emailed Rough Trade.
Oh right, so you've got like a second album worth of stuff.
Well, we actually had a first album, and Gold Star was the second one, but we kind of sold the first one for parts.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh right, for songs for this record, or?
Yeah, just a couple. Sweat and Blitzed Again are from the first record.
Okay.
And then we used some of the other songs off the first record as B-sides for the vinyls.
Ah.
For like the 7 inches.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I saw a guy talking online saying that it's cool because the B-sides aren't going to appear on the records.
No, those are all from a scrapped first album.
Ah, that's cool. But still solid songs. Will you play them live?
Yeah, we play a couple of them live. Yeah.
That's so cool. It's something I'm incredibly fascinated by, and I won't talk about it too much. But I've been writing music for quite a while, and it's something that I would love to do. It's something I dream of doing. So talking to you, knowing that you've done it, is like, it's weird. We've just met, but I feel kind of proud of you because you're actually doing the thing.
You know, some days it feels like it more than others, but it's nice to hear you say that. Thank you.
Well, no, on this day you're walking around a field with me, which is like, you probably want to be somewhere writing some songs right now.
Not at all. I'm doing something I've never done before. I feel like that's it's more than enough enrichment for a day.
That's lovely. What about let's keep going. Oh, 26? 26 here? Let's have a look. If you're listening to this podcast, we're just calling out random numbers. It's like, there's different numbers on the metal detector, and they go from like, I guess, 0 to 40, 50. And I think that tells you how heavy the metal is that's underneath the ground. And so we're looking for a decent number, a high number, to hopefully find, a coin or something interesting like that. But it is constantly beeping, which is actually stressing me out. So obviously we're hoping to find some like treasure or gold in this field. What's one piece of treasure or gold that you found in your life?
I once found a Pokemon card that paid for my rent for 2 months.
No way, for real?
Yeah.
What? Was it in a pack or?
Yeah, it was in like an antique store in
No way.
Pomona.
What was it, just like on a shelf or?
Yeah, it was in like, they had a big box full of like a bunch, and then I was like, this one looks like it could be worth something, and then it was worth a lot of money.
No way. Like what? Just like a shiny one?
And it was like from like a really like good condition collector's item from like 20 years ago. It was really
No.
cool. Yeah.
So like, can you tell me what type of Pokemon?
Yeah, it was an Umbreon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Do you? And then what? How do you sell that? eBay?
So I had a friend who's kind of flips all of those kind of cards, and
Ah.
she was my liaison for it. And so she goes. I don't really know the specific process, but she goes to like the like tournament nights in Los Angeles and
No way.
strikes like under the table deals with people and stuff. And so she took like 10% off the top and sold it for like this massive sum.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then help pay your rent.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Pretty much paid my rent.
And so you could concentrate on writing some songs. Yeah. Like that line is going to get used now. Pokemon card pays for you to do write your music.
Seriously.
I had a really good number here. That's a 25.
Mm-hmm.
Should we have a look?
Sure.
Okay, I think it's under where it is now. Let me stick it here. I guess like outside of the physical world, is there anything like, you know, like a life lesson or something someone's told you that you've hung on to that you treasure?
Yeah, I think I was visiting a college and I heard a lecture
Yeah.
from a guy, and I don't remember who he was, but he said something. He said to be ready and not be called is sad, but to be called and not be ready is a tragedy.
Say it again.
Yeah, to be ready and not be called is sad, but to be called and not be ready is a tragedy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's so true.
Yeah.
And so in line with your story.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Who was this guy?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I just remember, I don't even remember anything else he said. It was a long time ago.
Such a good turn of phrase though.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Something to carry with you, right? It's like, be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, what is that? We might have found something here.
Maybe a root?
I don't know. Oh, that is a root. Look at this, my empire of dirt, hey?
Yeah.
I just, I'm hoping to find something.
What is that? Just a rock?
I think so. It's, I'll have another look at this. Oh, that's on the shovel. 24 in that hole. Okay, let's keep looking. Can I ask you, like, what we spoke about it a little bit at the start of the podcast because I got excited that Mitski had come on the way here, but because I heard that you're a fan. But like, what music do you like listening to? What are you into? Because I know there's such a wide range of influences in the Sophs, right?
Yeah. Right now, I've been listening to a lot of Ween.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
I've been listening to a lot. There's this Irish folk artist, Joshua Burnside, who's very good.
I've never heard.
Really, really good. He's releasing an album this year.
Okay.
Fionn Regan is another.
Oh, yeah.
I really like him. I enjoy his music a lot. I also have a really big cache of Russian songs from the 20th century that I listen to
Oh, right.
most every day.
Like what kind of stuff?
I couldn't even tell you. I can't understand it. Or I don't understand the alphabet either. And I don't really have an interest to, but I really like the music.
Well, it just sounds good.
Yeah, I think the way that they play in like a kind of a harmonic minor scale for most of it, and it's all very, it's cool and creepy and emotional, and I like it.
But like, so do you play piano or guitar at all?
No.
So how, like, you're knowing like the harmonic minor scale. Like I play guitar. I don't know what that means.
It's all just kind of like intuition based, and I feel like if you're surrounded by enough, you know, intelligent musicians for
Yes.
long enough, you start to pick up on their
Pick
lingo.
up what it is. Wow, that's so cool. It's like what like do you like listening to it because it like makes you relax? Do you feel inspired, or do you just enjoy the sound? Like what's the
I think all of the above. I took a lot of it into the record Gold Star when we were making it because there's I mean it sounds a little more akin to like a Jewish nigun at the end of that song Blitzed Again,
okay?
but it is, you know, there's a very distinctly Slavic feel to the very end of Blitzed Again, the guitar and the dog dies in the end. I mean, in our live shows, we've been using we've been using an accordion as well to cover some of the acoustic guitar parts on those songs.
That's cool. Yeah, I saw that someone in the band plays an accordion.
Yeah,
I love that.
and so I really enjoy a great deal of Russian music, a great deal of German music from the 20th century.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, this guy's not having a good time. I really thought there was something here. This is just, is this our third hole? You also like, especially like in your lyrics and in interviews that I've read, it's like you seem like someone that feels their feelings. Do you know what I mean? You feel your emotions deeply. Would you say?
Yeah, I think I rather than feeling my emotions deeply, I think I just think about myself a lot.
Okay.
You know, and I really genuinely want to know when I feel things, why I feel them.
Wow.
You know, and I think music is a kind of a outlet for me to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can articulate it, right?
Yeah, I think for a lot of Gold Star especially, I turned a very journalistic eye inwards and thought about parts of myself that I deemed unsavory, and I sat in those parts despite being uncomfortable, and I really got to the bottom of them. I was like, okay, I am having these intrusive thoughts, I'm having this paranoia, I'm thinking about what other people think of me, craving their love and attention. Rather than try to stifle it, I want to figure out why, and I want to kind of create a character out of all of those parts that I write music from the perspective of, you know? And that, you know, in doing so and kind of making my narrator an embodiment of those unsavory parts of myself, I kind of I exercise the demons a little bit because it's easier to compartmentalize those feelings when you give them like a name and a face, put them in a song, something tangible.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like dismiss this if it's completely wrong, but it's almost like having therapy with yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Which I feel like is the most cost-effective form of therapy.
I'd say probably, yeah. It can get expensive otherwise.
Oh yeah.
Let's keep wondering and see. But it's and then like when you're putting that through into a song, like does that manifest in like the lyrical content or like the energy of the song?
Yeah, I think it does. It manifests pretty directly into the lyrical content and the theme, the through line on an album like Gold Star. It all kind of comes from that same place.
If I ask you something that's maybe like slightly deeper, but like if like we're looking for things buried in the ground in this field, like is there something you feel like you've buried deep down?
I think there must be, but you know, I feel as though it's important to, you know, if you write your best songs unearthing what you've buried, then sometimes you can put your tendency to bury things on the back burner and just make the songs, you know, because that's kind of what's putting food on your plate.
Yeah, that's cool. It's and then so like let's talk a little bit more about the album. Obviously we've touched on it in many different ways, but like when that comes out, like what do you anticipate that journey's going to be like? So the album's released everywhere, I assume, immediately, and then what?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we're touring for probably the 7 months, 6 months maybe after the album drops, and we're just on the road constantly. And so between the album coming out and just so many shows, being exposed to so many new audiences, playing these festivals, traveling to places we haven't before, I really hope to like just be a lot more successful than we are now.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too,
But
man.
that you put in that work and you go to different places, and every place you go, like I know you're going on tour with Shame soon, right? So that's across the US, right? And
Yeah.
people that are fans of their music will see you, and hopefully you know, if you pick up 1-2% of their audience each time,
Yeah,
then
I
it
mean,
rolls into a new thing.
It would have been worth it. I know we're super excited for that. It's our first proper direct support slot we've been offered. And yeah, I mean, their shows look
Maybe
incredible.
we'll cut through here.
Yeah, we're really excited to meet them. They've been really cool to us just on Instagram DMs or whatever. But we hear that they are a great time and they put on a great show. So we're super stoked.
That really helps. That's so fun. That's cool. And then so like with the album coming out as well, it's like, what's that feeling going to be like? It's like, if this is something you've wanted to do for the past 10 years or so, like you're going to see something that you've created on the shelves of the record shops that maybe you like to visit. That's like, it's something I can't even comprehend.
Yeah, I mean, I've wanted to be an album artist for practically my whole life.
Yeah.
And it's surreal and really, really cool because I feel like, I don't know, each time I release a song or, you know, let alone I think an album is a grander example of this. I kind of, it's kind of a plea to be understood.
Yes.
A little bit.
Okay.
You know, it's a conversation starter, and I feel like Gold Star in its entirety is a pretty bold conversation starter, and so I just really am looking forward to kind of being understood to a greater extent.
That's so nice.
Or even just, you know, I'm sure I'll be misunderstood quite a bit as well, but as long as people are thinking about me,
Yeah, that's nice.
you know.
Where does that want come from, do you think?
That feeling?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't get hugged enough as a kid.
No, I definitely, you know, we wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have some want to be like perform or put myself out there or like,
Yeah.
you know, do something that like people can, you know, they can like and subscribe to in a way. And so like, I've always tried to put my finger on like why we do it, and it's an interesting one to me, and I'm not sure, it doesn't need to mean that, you know, you weren't hugged enough as a kid, but it's just like I feel like sometimes it's like almost like the feeling of like you want to be recognised.
Yeah, and I think I just
Sorry
know,
to compare what I'm doing to your music.
not
It's
at
not
all,
the
not
yeah.
at all. This is we're having a conversation. This is
Yeah.
lovely. I think I think a lot of people, if you get into art because you love your instrument,
Yeah.
then it's very different than following this path that me and a lot of my fellow musicians are following right now. I mean, this is being an artist is inherently an attention-seeking behavior, and I think tying into that whole kind of like living in this post-ironic world where you have to be a bit flippant about everything you make, and you have
Yes.
to only kind of want to talk to people and only kind of want to perform.
Only kind of want to
like
seem like you care.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of does a disservice not only to you, but to your audience, because it means that you think that they're stupid enough to, really think that you're this beacon of humility,
Yeah.
Like, you're not. No artist is. They wouldn't be an artist if they were. They'd be a priest or something.
True, but I feel like there's a difference between like being so sure of yourself and then coming across as like arrogant, right? I feel like it's like you can be sure that what you're making is good and not be arrogant with it, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, there's a very big difference between confidence and arrogance.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in somebody's life, in order to build up your confidence, you have to completely destroy your arrogance. Like, I feel like they are, in some cases, at least in like a healthy, functioning person, they are mutually exclusive.
We had Jason Williamson on this podcast from Sleaford Martin. He said something about kill your egos.
Yeah.
Kill your egos. Does that tie into that, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, you're growing up, and I don't think, like, growing up and feeling your feelings for the first time, you're not able to differentiate the confidence and ego. And so both of them, both bars sort of raise at the same time, and then hopefully you reach a certain age and you realize that you have to destroy both in order to start from ground zero and build up your confidence exclusively, but not your arrogance.
Love that. It's so good.
I don't know if that makes any fucking sense.
No, it does to me. It really does. I just I left a pause because as you were saying it, I was thinking I'm going to clip that up. Tell me like the name behind the album. Why is it called Gold Star?
It's like this kind of external validation that you're searching for, and that you act so that you can receive, your
The gold star.
Yeah, you get your gold star there, and you become so kind of obsessed with it. It becomes just another reason why you're not working on yourself, because the world hasn't given you your gold star yet, and that's all I need, and then I'll start working on myself. You know?
Was the album always going to be called that?
Yeah, it was.
I think there's some horse shit here. Let's just step over that. All right. So that was always going to be the name. Mm-hmm. Right. It's such a good name, and now I know the meaning behind it. It kind of totally makes sense. I nearly called it Black Star there, but that's David Bowie's album.
If only.
If only one day.
One day.
I think we're nearly there. I'm sad that we haven't found anything.
Well, we found remains.
We did find remains. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess if I was going to ask you one last question, it would be, what is it that you're looking for next?
Stability. I think if I can get to a place, if this next year brings me one step closer to a place where being in the Sophs, being a musician, can provide me financial stability, social stability, give me a steady IV drip of validation and attention, then I will be A-okay.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't ask you what the name the Sophs was. What's the name of the Sophs? How did that come about?
It doesn't mean anything. I just wanted to be in a band that was the and ended with S.
Like the Smiths?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe, sure. Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, dude. And that was Ethan Ramon on Do I Detect a Problem? I think you'll agree, really interesting guy. I really appreciated his thoughts and feelings around writing music and putting like emotion into music, which I thought was really cool. And yeah, just what an interesting young man. I just think it's so cool that he's just pushed the band forward, and he's not afraid to kind of have the confidence to say that something he's creating is good. So thank you so much for listening. Please, as I said at the start, make sure that you followed on your favourite podcast platform. And please feel free to leave a review if you've enjoyed what you're listening to. It really does help, and I very much appreciate it. It's great for the ego. I also just want to say a few thank yous at the end here to anyone that's shown some support. I want to say thank you to Jamie and Sarah Richardson for letting me use their land, my father-in-law Simon for reaching out to them in the first place. I don't think that I thanked them in the first episode, so I just wanted to drop them a little thank you in, and to Esther, my wife, for bearing with me while I do this, and also to Jamie and Ben at Rough Trade for sending Ethan and Jason Williamson my way, because 2 fantastic episodes from those guys. So thank you so much, and I'll see you at the next one.